on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation, the exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock in the last limited shipment of 2014. The most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Vitamin B12 deficiency is linked to scores of serious problems. And Secret 12 is a fusion of 2 organic proprietary forms of vitamin B12, bringing you a true nutraceutical quality vitamin B12. Secret 12. Secret 12 is an excellent Christmas gift and is tailor-made to boost your New Year's resolutions. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with Super Male or Super Female Vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Every year we make resolutions to lose weight and get in shape. And the truth is, it's hard, even with diet and exercise, because of toxic food and our environment that is stressing our bodies more than ever before. Working with experts in nutrition and biochemistry, I found that super high-quality nutraceuticals, in addition to my diet and exercise, were the answers that synergistically worked. I could see the drastic changes every day with the amount of weight I've lost, my increased stamina, and more of a twinkle in my eye. That's why we are now so excited to launch the InfoWars Life Resolution Pack, combining 3 essential formulations: oxygen-based cleanser Oxy Powder, the Secret 12 bioavailable vitamin B12, and your choice of Super Female or Super Male Vitality. Now all available at a discounted price to you and your family to bring in the new year and make 2015 a true success. That's InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. 2015 is the year to do it, and it all starts at InfoWarsLife.com.
Listening to an InfoWars.com frontline report. It's Alex Jones.
Last winter, the FBI was praised for its speed in cracking the case of the World Trade Center bombing and bringing 4 suspects to trial. Now, there is some evidence that the FBI may have known of the plot in advance through an informant and might even have stopped the bombing that killed 6 people. Correspondent Jacqueline Adams has the story.
FBI agents might have been able to prevent last February's deadly explosion at New York's World Trade Center. They discussed secretly substituting harmless powder for the explosives, but they didn't, according to the FBI's own informant, Emad Salem. Unbeknownst to the FBI at the time, Salem recorded many of his conversations with his handlers.
I'm holding 903 pages of draft transcripts.
William Kunstler represents Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman and several others charged with conspiring to blow up a series of New York City landmarks 4 months after the World Trade Center bombing. That case has not yet gone to trial. Kunstler confirmed newspaper reports of the Salem transcripts. In one, Salem complains to an FBI agent, "Since the bomb went off, I feel terrible. I feel bad. I feel here is people who don't listen." The agent replies, "Hey, I mean, it wasn't like you didn't try and I didn't try. You can't force people to do the right thing."
There is material in here to show gross governmental misconduct.
Today, attorneys for the defendants in the
let's stop right
World
there.
Trade Center bombing case.
That's from October 28th, 1993, CBS News, using that for archival free speech purposes to analyze historical events. Since then, they have declassified and released the actual tapes that Ahmad Salam was able to record to protect himself. And we have some of those clips. If he'd like to go to those, we have the clip of that very transcript you just heard. But we got cut off by the break. Those are hard breaks. Absolutely. It's not a classic pure false flag where you shoot somebody and then frame somebody else for it. But in my view, it's still letting it happen, helping them get the bomb together, then having you stand down and not letting you do your job or them not doing their job, and clearly knowing the bombing was coming. I think that's aiding and abetting it. And I don't have some dog in the fight to demonize the FBI. That's a scary organization. It's just that from the perspective I've got in Oklahoma City and other events, this is something they've done before. Your take on that, sir?
Yes, sir. For you to understand what really happened, you need to know how with the FBI, the New York office, used to work at that time. They are two divisions, humps and suits. The humps is John Antiseve and Nancy Floyd and Louis Napoli and Steve Vieira, the special agents. This is the humps who sweat on the street, who do their best to protect and clean up American streets. The suits sitting in their offices, as Mr. Carson Danbar used to sit in the office, put his legs on the desk and talk from the tip of his nose. I saw John and Steve Vieira and Nancy Floyd and all of these agents sweating, begging Mr. Danbar to keep me in the cell and continue the investigation. He said, no, send him home. And when the bomb went off, he sent the agents to bring me back, to go back undercover. So I wouldn't throw the blame on the FBI, period. The listeners and you would like to understand, because I was there. I walk the walk and I talk the talk, and I am not afraid of nobody. If I am afraid, I wouldn't go undercover with assassins and evildoers hiding behind the name of Islam. These people, I mean, the FBI, with their fight between the management, and of course today it's a whole different story. At that time in the 90s, terrorism was something brand new, and for them to hear that somebody got orders to build a bomb and go in Manhattan and so on, and it is crazy for them. But I wouldn't throw the blame on the special agents.
I understand. You're saying it's the bureaucracy. That's what the late John O'Neill said. Did you ever talk to John O'Neill? Because he gave a speech in England months before he died, saying, and he was, of course, the deputy director of the FBI, the head of counterterrorism. For those that don't know, the government's going to let al-Qaeda attack us to take liberties. A big change is coming. He quits the FBI, goes to work at the World Trade Center the week of 9/11, and then dies in it.
Yes.
I mean, this is bizarre. So let's put bookends on the 93 event, and then give us your incredible info and expertise on what's happening in the Middle East, what Barack Obama really stands for, ISIS, all of it. I'm going to give you the floor, sir.
This is one very important point. I would like to explain it to your listeners. Why President Barack Hussein not hitting hard on the terrorists and on ISIS? And I know it sounds crazy, but bear with me. President Barack was born after his older brother, Malik. The father, Mr. Hussein, named his son Malik, and that's one of God's names in Islam. The second son, he named him Barak. What does Barak mean? Barak is the right Prophet Muhammad, and we can see Mr. Malik sitting with Mr. Obama, visiting him in the White House. Mr. Malik is in charge of the Muslim Brotherhood in Africa. There's a lot of finances going on through Mr. Malik, and we can see him in another picture holding the Yemenian dagger on his waist, and he is a big supporter to the Muslim Brotherhood. And that explains that Mr. Barak Hussein is not hitting hard on the Muslim Brotherhood. On the contrary, he took them off the terrorist list. For years and years, the Muslim Brotherhood is on the terrorist list around the world. In the Arab world, who knows them best? But Mr. Barak decided to take them off the terrorist list and start to be sponsoring them and put them in charge of Egypt against the Egyptian population. I am originally Egyptian. I have ears and eyes on the roads of Egypt on a minute by minute. And I know that every Egyptian disliked the decision of putting the Muslim Brotherhood in charge of Egypt. But that's the way Mr. Barak wanted to be. It took 1 year and the entire population ripped the Muslim Brotherhood of the taking over the government in Egypt. And now they are in trial in jail. Guess what? When Mr. Barak slowed down in his support to the Muslim Brotherhood, they threatened him, and I have that front page Al-Ahram newspaper, Muslim Brotherhood threatening Obama. If he stops supporting them, they will release secret documents to put him in prison. Verbatim words. Our listeners and our media in America, the mainstream media, will not put that, will not like to hear that. They don't want to hear.
And by the way, Colonel, Ahmad Salam, very famous FBI informant, infiltrator of assassin groups, you name it, successfully helping send them to prison, infiltrating the World Trade Center bombing of '93. If you just joined us, I've interviewed Dr. Jerome Corsi, I've interviewed Colonel Schaefer, and I've got a bunch of other sources off record in Congress, in the Senate. Everything he's saying, I heard 2 years ago, before it was even in the Egyptian newspapers, they have Obama's family, not just his brother, but Odinga and others. They're the ones that did the uprisings in Kenya and tried to basically overthrow it. This is incredible. And they're siphoning tens of millions a month up to the Muslim Brotherhood in an attempted takeover. And when I first learned about this, I couldn't believe it, that a U.S. president, bare minimum, is being blackmailed by the Muslim Brotherhood to carry all this out. I mean, it's really happening. I always thought that would be like Islamophobia or something. I just couldn't believe it. It was too big a conspiracy. Now it's admitted. So break down. I mean, so what you're saying is the intel from Egypt, where you were a colonel in intelligence, is that Obama is being blackmailed, or is he a willing accomplice of the radical jihadist?
First, I would like to correct one thing. I'm not a colonel in the intelligence. It's an honor. I wouldn't assume it. I am not in the intelligence.
Well, I just read in the New York Times you were a colonel that worked in intelligence and other operations.
No, I am not an intelligence officer. I have so many friends since I served in the military. They were serving me in a small units, and they went to intelligence, and we have friendly connections.
Sure, so the New York Times got that wrong. What was your role as a colonel in the Egyptian army?
I was in the Arms Ammunition Division, and I was in charge, and I was in the Special Ops, but I was not an intelligence officer.
Okay, good. The New York Times got that wrong years ago.
I want to clear this point quickly. Mr. Barack Obama's upbringing with a father who believed in fanaticism to the point that he named his first son Malik on God's name, and the second son Barak, which is the right of Prophet Muhammad. And then he was growing up in this environment as a Muslim. And when he came to the United States, let us see, he decided to be Christian. I'll go for that. But what kind of church Mr. President went to? Mr. White's a fanatic priest who is condemning America and going against America. Mr. Barak's heart is a Muslim. I have no problem with that because I am a Muslim myself. But don't go to the fanatics, take them off a terrorist list, start supporting them, and then I have to pay the price as an American citizen. We are paying the price for increasing the power of the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood, as I said, comes from the roots of, or they are the roots of ISIS. If you go to the ISIS tree, and I can see the ISIS tree, it started from the bottom as Hassan al-Banna and then after him, it came Ayman al-Zawahiri, and then Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman, and then it came a point